to the Life and Listings podcast. I have V here. Hey, V, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on today.
I'm excited about our conversation today. So, for everybody that's listening, and if they haven't met you yet, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, and what makes you a little bit different.
Well, I'm V out of Houston, Texas, real estate investor, mom, and right now I'm also into health. So what's different about me is I come from a place, well, not too much different, but the difference is that I don't let the negativity pull me down.
Mm-hmm.
I never take no for an answer. I'm the kind of like, if you give me a problem and I can't do it today, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get around it or get ahead or get through it one way or another to get it done.
Amazing. And so before we dig into the real estate stuff, I'm interested, like, what kind of health stuff are you digging into right now?
Oh, God. So, my biggest fear, this is crazy. It's not dying, but it's how you die, right? And I don't want to die of sickness and disease. And the biggest fear I have is losing my mind, getting Alzheimer or having cancer, because these have effect on my family.
Yeah.
So right now I'm all into working out, eating healthy. I even fast, like I do a 5-day water only fast, and I do that once a year, and I love it. So
good for you. Good for you.
Yes.
Because you've got so much going on, right? We're gonna dig into all the stuff you're working on. I think health is so important, and I think we don't dig into it enough to talk about what people are doing to keep themselves healthy, not only for yourself but for your family, right? That's just so important. So
Totally agree. Yeah.
you do a couple different things, right? So you're an agent, investor, you've got a podcast. Let's talk about what you've been working on.
Yes. So I started with in the house buying business, and then I started to branch off. And as I grow and evolve, I want to give back to the community, and that's how we started the podcast. So just didn't know anything about real estate. Decided to I was very lucky to be surrounded by a lot of good people who helped me to guide me in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And my business took off really quickly. Of course, we all have bumps and bruises, but, like I said, very thankful to the guidance and my support system. I just cannot thank them enough. But I started off with thinking that this is how I'm going to get more time with my daughter. And then I eventually got caught into I call it the entrepreneur syndrome, where you just, you get to one target and then you want to the target and you want to get to the next target. And then eventually what my turning moment was, oh my God, here's my daughter. The reason why I got in was to have more time for her, not to chase the shiny thing, the next big thing. So my objectivity has changed a lot since about 2 years ago. So now it's her first, and then business next, business, her, health, business.
Amazing. So was there something that happened, or something like maybe a mentor or something that came into your world that made you make such a huge shift?
As in what caused me to refocus instead of like business first to change to family first? I'm competitive, so that side of me is always, I want to win. Whatever I want to do best at it. And what changed was about 2 years, a little more than 2 years ago, my daughter was diagnosed with glaucoma, an eye condition. Sometimes I use the wrong word and people was like, what? STD? It's an eye condition that for older people, that's fine. But for a young person like her, there's no cure, no treatment today. So that changed my whole perspective. What am I doing? What am I working for? What am I building? And right now, everything I do is to refocus to, okay, can I build this and have team in place to run the business for me? And if that's not happening, I don't want to do it.
Okay.
And so is it going to make an impact? Can I scale the business? Can I delegate a task so that I am not, tying myself in the business 60, 80 hours a day like I used to when I was younger. So that's changed my life, my perspective, and everything I do.
It's so important. I mean, My husband always kind of like reframes my focus when I get like that, because I can totally work 100 hours a week if someone let me. But my husband will say, "Hey, you're on family time right now. You are home, be present, be with the kids. You're on family time." And it's a really important thing for me just to kind of like refocus on what I've got going on so I can be present, because that's why we do these things, right? It's for our family, and then we work so much that we just get lost. So tell us a little bit, you do both, right? You've got your license, you're an agent, you also do investing. I think that's really interesting, because there's a lot of agents out there that want to get in investing, or there's a lot of investors that want to be an agent. How do you balance doing both?
I started off as an investor first, and at the time, it's just a simple thing, right? I was trying to save the commission, so I became an agent. And then as things went on, it was the majority, and I'm not trash talking anybody, a majority of agents don't get the proper training or not willing to put in the effort. And so for that, I became frustrated. And I feel like when I hire an agent to sell our property, I still have to do the same amount of work. So therefore, I'm not saying all agents are like that, right? There are good agents out there. So that was how I also became an investor and an agent. And it gives us access to the MLS and where we can find deals or do our comparable analysis and all of that. So I think if any real estate agent who listen to this podcast, I highly recommend you to get into the real estate investing side of things. I think you're missing out if you don't even try to dibble dabble into investing, buy a property, because then you become more valuable to your clients. Because the real estate agents sometimes don't understand what it all takes to turn the property, to buy a property, flip it, and resell. It's a lot of work. And sometimes they undermine all the work that goes into that. So I say, I highly recommend you to get your feet wet, do a deal, and then understand it, but do it right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is really important, whether it's your first property you're going to live in or investment property, it up levels you as an agent once you've done a couple of those and you've purchased and sold stuff for your own family or your own investment portfolio. I know for me, my first couple house sales that I did brought me a whole other wealth of knowledge for sure. So let's talk about the podcast. What are you guys focusing on in the podcast? I'm super excited about that.
Yes, so our podcast mainly focused around real estate investing. And because of my background, my focus is primarily in single family home. So we talk a lot about, single family home, how to get good deals, how to look at a deal, how to, get out of the deal. And then we have other guests that come on and talk about commercial real estate, land, hotel, and we have CPA to talk about the backside of the business, because like I said earlier, I don't want this to be a high paying job. Whatever I am doing is to build a business and to help. I'm creating my generals and helping them to become financially stable and also help our business to thrive.
Awesome.
And
that's awesome. And what's the podcast called?
It's the Real Estate Ballers, or RE Ballers.
Amazing. And I'm going to drop that link into the show notes too, so everyone can go find that. And, I'm going to pivot a little bit, and I'm going to ask one of our icebreakers. What's your superpower?
I'm still trying to figure that one out here.
I know you have multiple, so...
I've changed my mind in that aspect, because I used to think I'm superwoman, and I used to think that I could do everything. I think I could do 5 things at once, and I think I don't need a lot of sleep, and, I can be a perfect mom, and I can run a good business, and I can be good to myself. But then I realized that right now, my superpower is to delegate. So
that's a great superpower to have, is being able to get stuff off your plate, especially when you have that much going on. What kind of team members do you have right now that you're focusing on delegating to?
So I'm still running a couple of businesses. I have obviously the podcast. We have the property management company that Buzz Vacation Rental, that we manage vacation and short-term rentals. And I still do my house buying and building my rental portfolio. So each company is run separately, and I have to. It's a constant thing: recruiting, training, and make sure the business is thriving.
Absolutely. That is a perfect superpower for you to have with everything you got going on. Well, Vee, this has been an amazing conversation. I'm super excited for everyone to go and listen into the podcast. If anyone's trying to, wants to follow you or wants to get more information about what you're doing, where's the best place for them to reach you at?
RE Ballers.
Okay.
So we on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, just YouTube. We on Apple Podcasts as well. RE Ballers. And if you want to shoot me an email, it's info@reballers.com. I may not look at that email personally, but if you send an email there, I'll get it.
Amazing. Well, Vee, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing today. We will see you again soon.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I hope to provide a lot of value to your audience, and I hope whoever listening I have one last word for you. Just do it.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, put yourself into action.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Vee. Have a great day.